Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome to my channel again. In today's video, we're gonna talk about the last chapter of One Piece manga, chapter 1099. So let's get started. At the beginning of the chapter, we see a continuation of the return of King Picori and his criminal actions against his people, which he extracted from the incident in the kingdom of Gua, the one that Sabo from. And we saw that incident. It's called if I believe it's called the Mountain of Garbage. And what's amazing that happened in chapter 586. To see the connection here, that's why like I'm gonna make a lot of points how it's all connected, man. That's why I love this, this anime and this manga and this writer himself. His way of connecting the dots, it's just amazing. So then in this process ended up with Kuma intervention and his rescue to the civilians, and how he attacked the King Picori, and they called it the one-man revolution, which is actually an amazing name. I like it. After that incident, Kuma was actually chosen to be the king of the people and was called by the world government a tyrant. And we found out that he was called a tyrant in Punk Hazard. That's like I'm like to make those comments, so just to let you know how connected these things are. So it's just amazing. And of course, we saw the like as I said before, I think in my review in the chapter 1097, when I said that they actually tried to ruin his reputation. That's why they call him a tyrant. That he wasn't. So we found out today that yeah, that's actually exactly what they did. So also we found out that he wasn't actually he was the king, but he wasn't actually running the country. So it was more of a bulldog, a guy who was running it. But he was just an image, so people should actually like trust him, and they love him because he saved them. And after that, Kuma became a pirate and created his own pirate crew. And that happened right after he saved the kingdom from King Picori and his navy companions. He came with the navy ships, and Koma stopped him by himself, which is something amazing also. And in his pirate journey, I think one of the most important questions that the fans had, and I loved. That's why I want to say the connections. We found out how he chose those islands for the Straw Hats when he knocked them off Shabondi in I think in 2011. That's how amazing this connection is. When he was like in Shabondi, he sent each member of the Straw Hats to an island that suits him. So we found out how he chose those islands when we saw his journey trying to find a cure for Boney. And also that they said that before when he actually sent all these his friends, the slaves from God Valley, he sent them to Sorbet Kingdom, and now sending the crew members to all these islands. That means that Koma cannot send people to a place he didn't visit before. So that's something we find about his devil fruit ability. He cannot send people randomly. He had to choose where to send them, and he need to be like he need to be there before, like he need to visit the place before he can send anyone uh, to it. So that's something interesting. So after that, Koma became a pirate and created his own pirate crew. And we see like Koma biography somewhat, like include many experience in his life. So we find out this guy actually had like a really full, interesting life, terrible and painful too. So like we see him as he was born and became a young slave, then he became a villager, and then he became a revolutionary and a king and a pirate. and then we see him later at Shibukai, and then we see him as also being cyborg, and overall that also a cyborg, and being a guy who they do experience experiments on his body. I mean, this guy had it all. He did everything. I think there's nothing more there's nothing more left for him to do. It's just, and we saw like in this chapter we saw the meeting of Dragon. Yeah, he met Dragon again after really like after a long time, and he actually Dragon had useful information for Como, which is the incident of Caesar Clown's bombing of the laboratory, and that like he will be able to meet the genius scientist Vegapunk. And after a long conversation between Kuma and Vegapunk, when he went and met him in Egghead, that wasn't called Egghead, was I forgot the name of it. It was called something like Lab 8 or something like that. So we found out that he actually Vegapunk, he's like he actually had the treatment for Bonnie, and he said that like we agreed to like but Vegapunk as a science science like a guy who only interested in science, and we found out about his personality when we saw his meeting with Dragon during the O'Hara incident, and how he's like science need money, and I'm just gonna work with whoever give me the money to do my researches. So we find out that even him trying to like save Bonnie, the young girl, but he actually tried to use Coma because of that purpose. He told him that okay, I'll treat Bonnie and you let me do experiments on you. And Coma actually agreed because he wants to save Bonnie in any with any cause. So like, and that's actually explained why Bonnie was actually in Egghead before. We found out that like a couple of chapters ago when we found out that Bonnie actually visited Egghead when she was young. That answered the question that she came with Coma when he was doing the treatment. So and Coma of course became the basis of the new invention by Vegapunk, but we found out at the end that Saturn actually has another plan, and I think in my opinion it will be like a miraculous plan and will never be in Coma's favor, of course. So what was his plan? Is it that he will be a cyborg, or is it that we're gonna turn him into a robot, or I can't think of any. Like there's a lot of terrible things they did in their life, but as like the Jerosi, but I can't tell which one he will do. And that's it. I think that's it. That's what we found about this chapter, and it was really interesting chapter. There's a lot of connection in it. We found out in this chapter how Jewelry Pony, turned to Connie, the queen of of Sorbet Kingdom, and that was in chapter 908 when they were like in the Reverie, and we found how Jewelry actually saw Vegapunk a big hit before. As I said, there's a lot of connection, and like Oda, as usual, proved to us that he's a distinguished person, and in the connection of his story indicate that he's like a really amazing writer. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. It wasn't much because the chapter didn't give us a lot of stories except the Coma flashback, which one of my like, as I said in my previous reviews, that this flashback actually surprised me because I always thought that Robin and Lao will be the saddest flashback in One Piece and nothing can pass that. But now having Coma and his terrible life he lived, it's just I don't think anyone I don't think Robin and Lau like they are the saddest anymore. I think it's Coma. Coma is like the saddest flashback in One Piece, and I hope the writer will continue with that story and give us all the information on how he became a complete cyborg. because I think that's how the writer will do it. He will finish the story of Kuma flashback, then he will take us back to Egghead when where Kuma actually teleported. So because the last thing we saw about Kuma is like he's trying to get to Egghead, and how he's like climbing the red line and trying to like send send himself to Egghead. So let's find out together. The next chapter is coming soon. There is no break this week, so I'm so excited. And before I finish, please, if you enjoy the video, please subscribe to my channel and like the video, and be my first subscriber. And I hope you guys see you next in my next video. There's a lot of interesting plans I have for this for the channel, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next video.